Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here for another video that's going to go in my list of natural remedies lists. It's a series I've been putting together for the past couple of years where I compile herbs, foods, and more on how you can help with either various health ailments or just generally improve the health of your hair, your skin, your digestion, and so on. So please make sure that after this video is over with, if you're looking for something specific, like a pain reliever or something to help with menopause or cholesterol or blood pressure, please go check out that list. I'll be linking to in the description box down below. By clicking on that horizontal box you'll see just below the video screen here if you're on a computer, or if you're on a smart device, it'll most likely be just say the word more just under the video screen over on this side over here down in this corner. It could be a little arrow though too. They keep changing it up. So also the other thing I'll be putting in the description box is I'll be typing up this list to coincide with this video so that you'll have it in a written form, and I'll be giving you the link to that list so you can access that, copy, paste it into your own document. So the reason I decided to cover liver health this time is I wanted to do a video specifically on the Herxheimer reaction and how a lot of people are using that as an excuse that whenever they're doing maybe a vegan diet or some kind of detox diet and they're constantly feeling like garbage, and then they fall back on this excuse. It's like, well, the reason you're having all these horrible side effects is because your body is detoxing. Well, that's not good enough. And people shouldn't be falling back on that as an excuse to keep doing what they're doing. If it's making you feel terrible and you're having bad side effects, stop whatever it is that you're doing, whether it be a special kind of diet or taking some kind of herb or supplement. If it's making you feel bad, don't do it, or at least cut back. Let's say it's an herb of some kind, cut back the amounts you're taking. Well, you actually should stop taking it for a while, then slowly reintroduce it in smaller amounts. And please do the actual research on what the Herxheimer reaction really is and what it is associated with. So this got me thinking, well, how about let's look at just taking care of the parts of our body that are meant for detoxification. So you shouldn't constantly having to be doing detox. Now, I do have a video on that list about natural detoxes, drinking certain types of herbal teas and taking baths. These can be helpful, especially when you're trying to eliminate certain things out of your body immediately. But again, if it's making you feel terrible and you're having bad side effects, it must be stopped. But what's most important is that we take good care of these natural filters within our body. And remember, I compile this information from varying sources, from natural-based websites, from medical-based websites, and also from science-based websites, so I can put good information together that kind of encompasses everything. So the first list I'm going to be reading off are herbs. I'm just going to list the herbs, and you can look into them for yourself. Keep in mind, one of the reasons I put lists together is because some of these herbs won't be good for you personally because of maybe a medication you're on or because of an allergy you have and so on. So you have to look up each individual thing for yourself, and it may also be based on what you can grow in your own area or even forage for in your own area. So these herbs include milk thistle, ginseng, green tea, really any tea from the tea plant, which is the Camellia sinensis. So that can be oolong, black, or white as well. Green tea is always listed, but the same plant, the same leaves are used. It's just how they're processed is what makes the difference. Licorice, that's one you got to be careful with. It can actually cause more problems with the liver. It can help to detoxify and nourish the liver, but too much can have a reverse effect. So there's just one example there. Turmeric, garlic, ginger, ginkgo biloba, astragalus, burdock root, dandelion root, and greens. I would say just the whole dandelion plant. So whether it be fresh, you're cooking with the leaves. My favorite thing to eat fresh off the dandelion is the stem to the flowers when it's nice and fresh. It's a nice fresh stem, not one that's a few days old. They tend to get tough after a bit, but when they're fresh and they're crispy, that's my favorite part to eat raw. I will eat the leaves raw, but you can dehydrate these things and add it to foods. You can make teas out of them. Also, yellow dock, red clover, turkey tail mushroom, oregano, sage, rosemary, cinnamon, curry, and cumin. So it doesn't have to be specifically making medicinal things out of these. Your oregano, your sage, your rosemary, cinnamon, all these things that are great for flavoring, look at adding these things more to your various dishes. So now let's go on to food. And the first one, even though this could have gone either in herbs or in food, I put it in food. This one might be surprising, but it's one that I found almost consistently in every list, and that is coffee. So if you're a coffee drinker, coffee's been given too much of a bad name, and it's only because of the caffeine. So just like with anything, it's about watching your intake. But other than that, if you're getting a good organic coffee, it can be quite healthy, and it's full of antioxidants. So especially if you're drinking it black. But even if you can't drink it black, adding some healthy things to it like raw honey and some good organic cream, milk, or if you're vegan or you just have to be dairy free, make your own organic nut milks out of whatever you want. Coconut, Brazil nut, hazelnut, almonds, the list goes on, pecans, walnuts, and you can use that to add more flavor and benefits to your coffee. And a little bit of turmeric is in there isn't bad either, or some of these spices. I like to mix it up. Some days I'll put a little turmeric in my coffee and some butter, and some days I'll just put a good spice blend, my mixed spice blend, which I'll link to my recipe for that in the description box down below. Moving on to some other foods. So grapefruit, berries, pretty much any berries, but specifically the ones that were listed most were blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and cranberries. Grapes, prickly pear. So some of you that live in those drier climates that have that growing, there's a good one. Beetroot, and I would say specifically making a kvass out of it. Beet kvass is really good. So you can either drink the beetroot juice or you can make a kvass, which is very healthy. I have a video on that as well, I'll link to down below. So it's a fermented beet juice drink. I don't even make a juice. I just do it with the whole chunks of beetroot and my fermentation starter, but whey is also a good option to get it fermenting. It only takes a few days. Cruciferous vegetables, so broccoli, cauliflower, kale, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. Nuts of pretty much any kind. So remember the nut milk I mentioned earlier, you can add to your coffee. That's a good one. In fact, even though I usually drink my coffee black, I don't usually add any kind of creamer to it. I have been using some Brazil nut milk or whatever nut milk I'm making at the time and using that in my coffee. Oh man, that's good. Good stuff. Fatty fish. So you're looking at mackerel, tuna, salmon, steelhead. Oatmeal, beans of pretty much any variety, avocado, carrots, leafy greens, lemons, and I would say actually anything in the citrus family, apples, whole grains, and tomatoes. And I'm sure there's many other good healthy foods that could fall in here, but these were the ones I came across the most all the way across the board when I'm looking up the lists. So now some other things to consider are going to be the obvious things I say in almost every one of these videos, and that is making sure you're getting a good amount of sleep, getting good exercise, fresh air, and drinking plenty of clean water. Now for me, drinking plenty of clean water means making herbal teas. That's my favorite way. I will drink plain water too, but I love making herbal teas. I have several cups of some kind of herbal tea every day, and I don't make it the same every time because I think it's always important to keep it mixed up. So if you're trying to really help clean out your system and take good care of your liver, maybe one night make a ginger tea, maybe another night make a cinnamon tea, and another night make a peppermint tea even. Even though peppermint wasn't in the list, you could do that too. Some people like sage tea. I'm not crazy about sage tea, though I love sage, but thyme tea is excellent. I do, though, in most cases, like to do blends. Most of the time. Ginger is one of those I love just plain, but I do still like to combine it with other herbs. So if you're doing an herb that maybe doesn't have a lot of flavor, maybe you're doing dandelion root, That'd be something that would be good to add cinnamon to, or your ginger. Same thing with red clover or dandelion flowers. You can make teas out of these, but they don't have a lot of flavor. So if you like to have a lot of flavor, add some of these spices listed on here in with those things. Make your blend however you want. Like I said, I always mix it up. I make my blends different all the time and try not to make the same tea, especially with herbs that you got to be a little more careful with, like maybe nutmeg and so on, and horsetail. I try not to do that every day or 2 days in a row, just one day unless I have extra tea left over from the day before. And some other things to consider that can be good for helping to just detoxify the whole body, but also the liver, would be things like activated charcoal. Activated charcoal, bentonite clay, and diatomaceous earth are all great for helping to bind up toxins, especially heavy metals, when you're talking bentonite clay and even diatomaceous earth, and carry them out of the body. And then also making compresses that you put right over where your liver is at. Some people will use castor oil compresses. Yarrow is another good one. Yarrow is just an excellent herb. One of my very first medicinal herbs I started growing, and I've been using a lot more again lately. And then ginger as well. You can make a compress from ginger. And I'm sure any of these other herbs you could do the same way. But some people will use those to help pull toxins and stuff out of the system. That way, around their liver, because the more we can help the liver do its job, the healthier it's going to be. And the more we can keep the toxins out of our system in general, like not cooking with aluminum or Teflon or fluoridated water, and trying to stay away from GMOs and other types of chemicals, and especially staying away from pharmaceuticals that are all synthetic and in most cases cause far more harm than they do good. So there you have it. There's my list for now. Don't forget, I'll be linking to the written list down below, and any other ideas. You've had some kind of liver issues, or you've just been trying to do some different things to help nourish your liver and make it so that it can do its job better. Please share any of your thoughts and ideas down below in the comment section. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.